You're welcome to African Center for Bioethics Training and Research. This is a bioethics hub based in the University of Lagos, Nigeria, where we as both students, learners, and scholars, brainstorm on bioethical issues and challenges as they affect humanity and the entire ecosystem. So we have so many issues that we want to look at. We're going to reflect on this episode by episode. So we're going to divide ourselves into groups and we'll interface on these topics. So my name is Dr. Paschal Anaeke, a PhD holder from philosophy, University of Lagos, Nigeria. So let me get names of those that are around so that I know those that I'm interacting with.
My name is Anaeke, Philosophy Department, University of Lagos.
My name is Maxio Ochoitodo. I'm independent researcher at University of Lagos.
My name is Anaeke, Department of
So you're welcome, Roslyn, Matitodo, Tochku. You're welcome. So what we're looking at, we have a lot of topics lined up for our discussion. Have the issue of artificial intelligence and robotics, and looking at the contentious issues. So we also have a topic like demographic collapse and issue of aging population. You see the irony. Talking about aging population, we're talking about demographic collapse, family planning, and then how do we sustain human chain of reproduction and continuation. We also have issues like African AI, that's artificial intelligence from African perspective. That's going to be anchored by Professor Chidozie Okoro. And we look at AI from an African perspective. Can we develop African AI or AI that has African experience and reality? Because there's some of the AIs we have are developed according to the ideology of the developers. So is there any possibility of having an AI that is developed with African bias, so to speak? So we also have issues like global terrorism and Western complicity. Recently they fingered some countries in Boko Haram malaise in Nigeria. So we also need to look at that and see whether this issue of terrorism has on the hands that is fueling it, or is it just pure insecurity, or are there political and economic aspect of terrorism? Then we look at the issue of brain drain, the Jackpot syndrome, and the issue of underdevelopment, brain drain, and all those stuff. So we look at that. Somebody will have to look at that. We have the issue of healthcare disparities and the possibility of achieving global health coverage by the year 2030. Look at it vis-a-vis the Nigeria situation. Then the issue of religion and the Africanization of the African mind. Because most of the religions that we are protagonists of today in Africa, we are alien to our culture. So they came with either Arabanization, because Islam comes from the Arab world. Even Christianity came from the same Arab of the Jewish, then became Western embraced religion. Then it came to us and we embraced it. And then we downplayed our own culture, our own traditional religious system. So we're going to look at the problem of the colonization, the Africanization of the African mind. What has religion done? Has religion Africanized our mind or de-Africanized our mind? So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the issue of Yahoo and youth and Yahoo mentality. The issue of today is get rich quick propensity. It's the order of the day. We're all striving to get the money, nothing matters, it's money, money, money. And then what happens? Internet, Yahoo has become an avenue it's just the home name for internet fraud. And this is where our youths are taking to us. How do you look at it with respect to good attitude towards honest labor? We're going to look at that. It's also vital issues. Because we are going to establish it as a vital issue, then we then justify our discussion about the topic. So we're looking at the issue of human freedom and gender medicine. We're going to be looking at electoral malpractice, corruption, and good governance. So how do they play out? Electoral malpractice, corruption, and governance generally. the issue of equity, gender equality, gender roles, and local cultures. So we're going to look at that. So gender role, gender equality. These are our local cultures because our own indigenous perspective about gender roles is not the same as Western perspective. And we're living in a globalized world. So how do we say this? How do we come people that have Western or a global mentality towards gender issues and our own cultural conservative outlook towards this? How do we bring them together and then to get a universalized understanding of gender roles? So we're looking at someone has to be looking at the issue of GMO food, genetically modified, GMO food, food safety and security. Modifying food in terms of productivity. What are the ethical issues? What are the dangers or the health implications, if any? We need to know, we need to look at that, address the problems, and then profile solutions. Then recently we don't hear about trade wars and global political economy. We're no longer hearing much about trade phase. What we are hearing is trade war. So we look at the issue of trade war started by Donald Trump, the trade war, tariff wars. How does it affect the global political economy? So we're going to be looking at all these things in our interaction today. So we start with the issue of global demographic collapse. So that before we go into that, we see whether are there views, are there areas you want to redirect our mind so that when we start, we will flow according to the taste of the audience. So today we gather together to reflect our normal roundtable on vital issues and sharpening our minds to become awake to global issues as they affect humanity, society, the world we live in. So this is just the intro. We're going to draw curtain on this intro and then we go to the topic proper.